So real estate is something that we all know about, but we don't perceive changes in real estate or in the real estate market except in the rearview mirror. That happened. Why does that happen? How does that happen? I'm not going to profess to know everything. I've done this for 45 years, thereabouts. 1984, figure it out, whatever it is. I don't even know. A lot of years. And
first house was sold for like Fred Winslow.
That's right. Okay. But there are some key things. There are some very key things in real estate that are that affect the market. Now we had very unusual times in the past 6 years with COVID coming in and whatnot, that changed the whole supply-demand chain. They changed everything and drove prices up because of supply and demand, plain and simple. But now we don't have that anymore. And this year, this spring, starting out, we are moving back to a normal market. We are really moving back to a normal market. In Bordentown, there might be 35 homes right now for sale. Township, really, just the township alone. In the city, there might be 8 or 9. I mean, during times of retraction, when we had less for sale, we might have 2, 3. Now we have 35. Thereabouts. It was so rare. It was like 1, 5, 8. These kind of numbers for the whole county. Homes over 45 days on the market. During those times of oddity, if I'll call it times of oddity, really, it is. It was. Now we have 260 something homes that are over 45 days on the market and over 350 over 30 days.
How does that relate to pre-COVID?
It is coming back to the norm.
Not there yet.
No, it is. No, it really is. It's relatively, a relatively normal thing. And we're seeing negotiations. Not always, not all the time now. That is different. But we are seeing negotiations and people trying to pound the seller down. I just put in an offer for $40,000 under asking. $40,000 under asking.
Impossible.
Impossible. And I had reasons. I had reasons for it. I mean, they wanted a house purchase contingency, and I think they overpriced the house to begin with. When I added the two together and how much a house purchase contingency matters, because it can throw the buyer off for months and months and months.
I just had a deal die because they had a
house purchase contingency, and it does.
And the seller still hadn't found something, and the buyers couldn't wait any longer.
No, they can't wait any longer.
So they had to kill the deal.
They have to. And so, anyway, we're seeing changes in the market, and these changes add up to pressure on the market that affects pricing. Now, my young people who have come to me and said, Ralph, I want you to help me. I generally hold hands and help people out. I mean, rather than let's go see 3 houses, buy 1. That's literally what people, when I walk into my office, that's what agents talk about. Let's go 3 houses, we'll buy 1. I don't do that. I've held hands with some of these people for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. We figure it out. But they're starting to come back into the market saying maybe now. And if I were to be honest, you never know why someone's buying a house. So I have to let them do what they do, right? They want to buy now, God bless them. They're going to buy now. They know they're at the peak of a market. We've talked about it. But if I were going to be the investor, I'd tell everyone that this market's falling. It's going to fall like a Led Zeppelin. That's me. That's my understanding of it. And the reason is multiple. There's multiple reasons. Yeah, interest rates are a little bit lower than where they were at the peak. We were at 8%. Now I just getting an FHA loan, which happens to be a little less than conventional in interest rate and terms and everything. Everything's a little better right now with the government loan than it is with the conventional. That's 6 3/4. Okay, so that's great. That's better. Let's put it that way. It's better. Probably a normal number, really. What interest rate should be, if you will, rather than my 3.5 or 2 3/4 or right. Yeah. But yeah, when you get to that 3.5, I honestly, truly predict that prices will fall rapidly if that ever happens again. Just for that reason, there's many reasons prices can fall. That's one of them that will drastically just drop prices like it is counterintuitive. It's counterintuitive, but I want you to think about something. How many people call me up to say, I really need to move. I'm getting older. This house is too big, especially that question, right? This house is too big. And I say, these are decisions sometimes, go talk to your accountant. We'll talk, whatever. And over time, we get to a decision. I don't want to move. I'm at 2.5% or 3.5% interest, and I'm going to move to 7. What are you talking about?
So there's no inventory.
Right. And the other thing is there's capital gains on the sale of a piece of real estate over what, $500,000? Yeah.
You used to hold it for 2 out of the past 5 years.
Yeah. Two out of the past 5 years. So so now prices have risen. Now you're paying capital gains on everything over $500,000. They'll tell me a lot of houses are selling for over $500,000, right? So now you got to pay capital gains. And if you're a single person or recently widowed or divorced, right, then you're paying on $250,000. Man, you're just writing checks.
It's amazing that you have different pressures coming from.
There's different pressures. I'll give you another pressure on the market that I learned just the other day, and I've talked about incessantly lately to people, that we do. If you look back in history, household budgets were very different in the 90s. And that's not really that far away. That was not that long ago, the 90s. 98, no, really. Even the 2000s, even the young 2000s or whatever. The cost of things that we bought in those days was much more expensive. TV set, thousands of dollars. Computer, thousands of dollars. Microwave even, $700. I mean, now it's all pennies. It's all just throwaway. I'll buy 3 TVs, and I'm under 1,000, and I buy
The biggest one.
yeah, whatever. It's just stupid stuff. If we run into an inflationary spiral, whereas those prices start rising, because what happened was the household budget was way up here for all these things that we bought, and even things like cars were more expensive in some ways. Yeah. What they got and everything else. So now that money was spent here in the household budget side, and real estate was calmer. That dropped like a Led Zeppelin, and the money went into real estate.
Twice you said that.
Yeah, I know. It's my thing, and it goes up. You know what I mean?
I do.
And so now, if that starts going up again, what's going to household budget? What do you do?
It's going to reflect what people can afford.
They can afford. So these are all pressures, and that's why I say I think that if you're selling a house and buying a house, that's fine. That's the one thing, right? But you are going to run into capital gains, and you are going to run into interest rate risk. And if you are going to buy in cash, then you eliminate the interest rate risks. So it doesn't matter, right? But not everybody buys in cash, right? Write me a check for $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, right?
Well, I can write the check.
Yeah, you can't.
I can't do anything with
You can
it.
hang it
Right?
on the wall.
A few of us in this room can do that, right? But not everybody.
Writing.
No, I'm not. Anyway, so it is what it is, right? This is real estate. and it changes. It changes, point blank. Young people we've lost a generation. There's another problem with housing and values. We've lost a whole generation. They are spending money on beer and travel and climbing mountains and jumping out of planes and doing all the things they want to do for their high. And by the way, I envy them in so many ways, but they're not saving for a house.
Because they don't feel
it's possible.
Right.
Why is it possible?
They can't even rent much less.
Right?
Right. Well, yeah, I'm early 30s. Most of my friends still live at home.
Right.
With their parents.
Right.
They don't even consider buying a house.
That's right.
That's too expensive. I'll just stay there.
That's right.
Are you finding your job changing? My son's friend bought a house. I couldn't get you involved.
That's fine.
She said they don't, as a real estate agent, she goes, I don't even look for homes anymore for my customers. She goes, I've been in this business for 30 years. She goes, we don't even look. She goes, the buyer already has homes picked up.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to go look at this, and this.
That's what's happening. I mean, I do guide them a little bit. I am able to send them information. I do look up. One of the things that I do is like when my client just recently, I send them an email, but they're always on Zillow and they're always on this and that and the other thing. They want to see a house in Burlington County, in Burlington area, and they went on their own to an open house. They signed my name. They want to put an offer in. I haven't even seen the place. But what I do is a whole comp on it. I sent them all the data, all the information, what that house should be selling for, what's going on. I review every photo. You know. I've done this for too long. I know where that house should be. A lot of agents don't even do that. I'm telling you that right now. A lot of agents don't even do that. They just move on. They're marketing people. They're great marketers. They get people to work with. But I have agents that send a contract for purchase or sale over to people by DocuSign, and the agent's sitting by their pool.
Yep.
Almost all mine are signed by ink in my presence.
I got one right now, Farnsworth Avenue, number 8, I think it's number 9. Chuck,
Nine.
9.
Prince Street.
Prince Street. Customer, they from England.
They're from Germany.
Or Germany. Never stepped
Military.
foot in this place. Bought it sight unseen.
Yeah, I know that house.
Yeah.
They are paying the price.
They're paying the price.
Yeah, their main contractor
How
is
could
doing
somebody
all the.
just trust a real estate agent? Oh yeah, it's okay, great, buy the house.
And a lot of these realtors will not do anything that will thwart the sale, because as far as they're concerned, they're there for the commission. We had something years and years ago called Opinion 26. This was in the 90s when it came out. Attorneys wanted to make using an attorney mandatory in the state of New Jersey for every sale, every purchase. And the state Supreme Court said no, but now we have this document that everyone has to sign, and no one ever reads the damn thing, but I read it to them. I don't read every word, but I paraphrase it. And really what it says is that attorneys play a critical role in the sense that you pay them a fee, and that's the end of it. They don't earn a commission or any further number if you buy or if you don't buy. They're only there to protect you, right? A realtor only earns their money at closing. So their motivation is entirely different. And I have people go, oh, I didn't think about that, right?
Well, there's really 3 types of realtors. There's part-timers
Mhm.
are worthless. There's the ones that are just for the commission, and then there's realtors like Ralph, who is not a consultant, but it's a
resource.
He's a different breed.
it's a personality.
It is I suffer with that personality issue.
You only
I
work
do.
with a handful at a
I do.
time so that you can give the time to each. And that's why, I mean, I referred my friend, and
Yeah, they're
less than a
happy.
week, he sold the house, and I felt comfortable because she needs somebody that is educated.
We're going to be dealing with holding hands soon.
Yeah.
A lot. Today, when I'm done with all the meetings and everything else, I go to Lambertville, right? there's a bakery in Lambertville. The owners are running the bakery, and the owner of the property, because they're leasing, is saying, I'm selling the house, I'm selling the property, you want it, it's $1,200,000, you can have it, I'll give you till June 5th, whatever that is, you know what I mean, to come up with that, and I'll even hold the mortgage on it, whatever, you put money down. The realtor that helped them buy the business is the same realtor that is representing the owner and thinks that he's representing them. He's not. They found me through friends. We're holding hands. We're talking about things. We're going out and seeing other properties. I mean, that's an easy sale, right? It's an easy sale. You're there. You're already set up, right? We're seeing other properties. We're talking about what we do. We've come up with strategies on how we want to negotiate and present things. And we're putting in an offer today at like $700,000. The person who owns it is like third or fourth generation wealth and doesn't care. When they bought the business, they wanted double what they paid, and they came up and said, well, we have cash. Oh, okay, I'll take that and just run. And that's their personality. Well, we've got cash now. I mean, it just happens to be that we have all this cash. You know, family money is really what it is. We got all this cash, and we're going to come in with a cash purchase today to my detriment and of my commission, but we're coming up with a cash purchase at half of what they're asking, and we'll negotiate up a bit, but it is what it is. And the other realtor would never talk to him about the fact that as the bakery, they own all the equipment. They own everything in there. So if they leave at the end of their lease, it's a vacant space. That's all it is, just a vacant space. You know what I mean? Even the range hood they own. Right?
They're not leasing them?
No.
A lot of places I didn't know lease them.
Yeah. No, it's all owned. So anyway, that's real estate in a nutshell. It's changing. It's changing. All of a sudden we have houses on the market longer. We have things popping off and there's always going to be that craziness before the fall. And there is some craziness right now. There is still some craziness. I mean, agents are like, oh, you have to buy, you have to pay more than what they're asking and all that stuff. Relax. Relax.
So when you retire, a good realtor is going to be very hard to find.
There's going to be a lot of them out there, but they're not I mean, you have to want to end up with a good relationship afterwards. That's the difference. That makes the difference. So, any questions on real estate? Anything? Because if I have a few minutes, I'll answer any questions.
You got it. No.
Okay.
I was gonna say, when you say fall, do you feel like that's gonna be as drastic as like a fall like 2008 or something along those lines, or more just a dip?
I think we've had so much upward pressure that has been excessive.
Yeah.
Upward pressure, more so than 2005, 6, 7. So the fall could be worse.
Okay.
5, 6, 7 was a money issue, right? I mean, that's different. Yeah, it was an inventory issue, and so boom, 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 things went up. But now things went up falsely. We had a worldwide pandemic. People didn't sell. People were like, when the pandemic hit, we'd don our mask and go show a home. People would want to show a home. I get a phone call. I wouldn't even be representing the seller, right? I'd be representing the buyer. I get a phone call from the seller. What surfaces did you touch in my house? Did you touch doorknobs? Did you touch this? Did you touch that? Did you wear gloves? I have to sanitize this entire house.
No, we said open sesame and walked in.
Yeah. Right? What surfaces did you touch? Right? What do I know what surfaces we touch?
Everything.
The whole house.
Right.
Everything.
So it was a very unusual time in world history that drove prices through the roof. People weren't spending money going out. People were making false incomes from the federal government.
I was
Right?
21, 22,
Yeah.
in college,
And making money.
and they gave me a house.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, sure.
Okay.
And then,
So-
and then all of a sudden, like for me, it was a mortgage rate at $900 a month. I've never had rent almost that low.
That's right.
And then all of a sudden, everyone else, like the world is falling apart in that sense at that time. And it's just like, okay, now your mortgage rate is $2,100. It's like, well, wait, I didn't start making new money. I didn't have
No.
extension on the house. Why is the value? Why is the cost going up?
Right.
But I mean, that was different. That was in the variable rate, the interest rates or whatever it was.
That's what happened.
Yeah, it was very different from now. Not an interest.
I don't do variables with people. I don't do them. You know, there's a reason for them. There's a reason. There's a use. There's a very good use, but not just to get a house.
Good for the first year.
Because yes, we're